The Imperium Pro Team is a multi-discipline professional gaming team based here in Manila, Philippines. Our goal is to represent the Philippines well in esports competitions, be it in fighting games, League of Legends, FPS. As long as we get a chance to represent the Philippines internationally, we want to do our best to make a positive impact for the Philippines and show that we have what it takes to compete at a high level internationally. What it takes to be a member of my organization is you have to have a drive to win, and that just doesn't start with you practice a lot or you want to win championships. You have to have the right mix of drive, focus, and the desire to win to play for me. And all of our players are hand-picked as much as possible. And so we try and keep our organization the way it is now, which is one of the best in the Philippines.
IPT is the best esports team right now in the Philippines. If you count it down, in all aspects of gaming, fighting games, PC games, you name it. We have a lot of championships under our belt. And of course, why IPT? Because it delivers in performance and with connection to the international community. And it elevates the scene, it elevates the local scene, it brings out the best in every player.
Where else can you find a really experienced tournament organizing team, especially for fighting games, the highest caliber players? There's really no other option. IPT is the best in Philippine fighting games. It is the premier place to be and to play with if you want to get good at fighting games.
Because they've shown a dedication to the fighting game community. They've shown that we can run tournaments efficiently and professionally, and I'd say better than any other events team in the country.
They're the only fighting game team here in the Philippines that is being taken seriously. Outside the country, you won't hear people talking about, say, Mineski. They don't have a fighting game team. TNC, they don't have a fighting game team. When you ask our Southeast Asian counterparts, they know who IPT is.
It's more of like kind of like, it feels like I just been adopted and I was just put into the right place, because there's been, in the community, it's not exactly the best, that all of a sudden there's this guy who just took me and it was all like, hey, I want you in. And at first I was skeptical, but because, you know, it's only normal to not know what the person is. But then once I got in, like, it was really a gratifying experience. Like, I got sent to a country, like, let alone me just playing the video game, not even sure if that's like well, it's very noble of him to do, actually. I'm just happy because of that.
IPT is the best. It's the bomb. That's all.
Well, a lot of my existing players have played for me for more than 6 months, and we have a majority of our team, over 50%, that have already been playing for me for more than a year. And the reason they're on my team is they're all proven winners in their disciplines, and they still want to continue to improve. They haven't stagnated, or just because they've won championships, they've stopped practicing or they've lost drive. They want to continue to win, and that's one of the main traits that we look for in our players.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to gather much experience if it weren't for them. Because the reason why I got into Singapore and got into places is because of playing with people. Without playing with people, you're not going to be as good.
To work or play for Imperium Pro Team, it makes me really proud.
It means having like-minded people around you. You know, when you have friends, you know, you click with them on certain levels. This click is specifically for that competitive itch. It's a nice feeling to have, especially like coming from a background where I didn't really have anyone competitive to play with. I had my neighbors, but you know, after I would beat their ass to the ground, they would just say, nah, stop. Now that I have IPT, you know, I have somewhere to go to every time.
Fun siya kasi
meron ngang like-minded people na gusto rin na yung games na nilalaro mo. Tapos, madalas kahit sabihin practice sessions, technically naglalaro-laro lang kami. So, yun, enjoy siya.
Ang masaya, maraming benefits. Marami akong nakakaibigan and marami ko akong nabra-branch out na games dahil sa IT.
It's just playing with the boys. We're all mostly the style here is we're all mostly friends first before players, so it's just playing among the boys. If you can hear, I'm not sure if they can hear it, but you can hear that there's laughter outside. People are joking, they're trolling each other.
Thanks to the IPT, I've been able to travel a whole lot more. I've been able to compete in other places and perform and place in international events. And of course, we were able to elevate the state of the local fighting game scene in the Philippines. So
I'm very proud of being a part of IPT, and I'm very proud to be contributing to whatever it is that the Imperium team has planned, whether it's for fighting games or any other games, because like I said, it starts not just with skill but with growing the community, and we have that. Hindi lang tayo focused sa anong gusto ng Pilipino, pero focus tayo sa anong gusto ng Pilipino and beyond, the next level. Hindi lang tayo kontento sa IPT na magaling sa Pilipinas. Kailangan magaling tayo, nakikilala tayo ng mundo. And that's the vision I like about IPT. It makes me proud. Street Fighter 5 is a very back to the basics kind of game. It caters more to the older generation of players who were more focused on fundamentals rather than very long stylish combos, which is why it kind of tries to meet the middle ground between new players and old school players. That's why we see many old school players come back to play with me.
Actually, gusto ko siya kasi mas pinasimple nila yung combos and yung damage output sobrang laki. So, talagang magkakaalaman talaga sa fundamentals ng players.
Masarap maglaro ng Street Fighter 5. Sobrang enjoy lalo na't bagong-bago pa siya. Sobrang competitive ng scene. Yung players starting on the same level halos. So, walang pressure towards me or others pag naglalaro.
It's a lot more easier to get to than the previous iteration, Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 5, now that it's fresh and new, it gives everyone a chance. And I just feel more at home with how the game works. Like less hard knockdown setups and stuff.
I really enjoy the game. Compared to 4, it's more like the older games. It's more footsie oriented. It's more about fundamentals. There's less safe things. There's less gimmicks. There's less BS to do.
it's currently it's very fast paced. You have to think fast on your feet. You have to know what to do at the right time, and you have to maximize every opportunity.
Games are basically a microcosm of what life is. There's challenges to overcome, and there are ways to overcome it. So it's the same thing. You see a challenge in life, and if there's something in the game that challenges you, if a guy is defending a certain way, if he's blocking a certain way, if he's attacking a certain way, you discover how to fight that. You don't just give up. You keep going at it. You may lose over and over again. Take all your hits, take all your losses. But once you get it, once you realize it's not the guy, it's you. You realize you can break that ceiling. You can go. You can beat it. You can beat that attack. You can beat his defense. Same thing in life.
Ito ko rin nakukuha yung kailangan ng work ethic in things, hindi basta-basta baliwalain lang. Kung gusto mo talagang mag-succeed in something, kailangan mong mag-practice.
I've made a lot of friends playing video games in general, and especially competitive. I don't think I've made any enemies yet. I don't plan to. It makes me connect with a lot of people, like especially our generation where gaming is really big. And then I also love explaining how gaming is like the next big thing to the older generation who don't quite understand it. But you know, regardless if they like give me fake nods, you know, it's food for thought. It's really good food for thought.
Natuto ako kung paano mag-improve sa kahit na anong bagay na ginagawa ko. Kasi pag naglalaro ka ng fighting game, nandiyan na talaga yung magkakamali ka, yung may mga bad decisions sa mga gawa. So, little by little, matututo ka sa lahat ng mali na ginawa mo. And in the end, mag-improve ka kahit anong mangyari.
Una, ang course ko is game development, so I need to play a lot. And I think na yung paglalaro, nandiyan na rin yung social life ko, my friends. And yeah, basically that's it.
The FGC is actually pretty big. You get to make a lot of friends. I like my friends in the FGC. We have our jokes. We actually help each other a lot. You get to meet friends from different countries. You become friends right away just because you have like a medium that you could share with. That's how I made friends from Guam, from the States, from Singapore. We actually still talk. Right now, things aren't going so well for me, but yeah, I have my friends and I love them.
Since all gamers have games as a hobby first, stress reliever siya. It really relieves your stress, you know, takes away your troubles, it makes you focus on other things. It helps you with critical thinking, especially under pressure, to make the right decisions, the right calls at the exact amount of time, and have the presence of mind to execute them properly. So it's something that most people overlook when they don't know about games, about professional gamers. But there is a big element of critical thinking involved. There is, walang player na parang wala lang mag-isip na parang sabog lang eh. Every player weighs each and every option before doing it. It takes a certain amount of risk and reward. And that is also applicable in life. Kailangan may critical thinking ka sa life eh. Kailangan nawa-weigh mo yung options mo, ano bang maganda, ano bang hindi, ano ba chances na mag-succeed ka dito sa business venture mo, ano ba chances na hindi, what are your options, how do you get better? And those are the same questions that gamers ask as well.